Early access, a phrase that has become extremely controversial in the past few years, and there have been more early access titles than ever, and with this, the gaming landscape has drastically been altered because of it. Early access has affected every genre of video game. Some early access games have been proven to be highly successful, like Fortnite until the year of 2021, and others have proven to be from the good to the mediocre to the downright scams. Early access games have been proven to be divisive. But what makes a good early access game? I believe there are 3 criteria that make a good early access game. Only 95% of y'all are subscribed, and I normally don't like begging for subscribers, but I want to hit 2,000 subs by the end of the year, and please consider doing it. I am thankful for every little bit of help. The first criteria is the game needs to be a good proof of concept. Obviously, the game isn't going to be perfect, but it needs to prove that the core gameplay experience is fun and engaging. The next criteria is the passion of the developers making the game. It's best if they love the product they're making and enjoy every step of it. And the final criteria is open to constructive criticism. Like I said before, the game isn't going to be perfect, and that's okay. There will always be room for improvement, but the developers have to listen to the feedback from the community. And there aren't that many early access games that fit this criteria, but one of those games is Prehistoric Kingdom, and I am here to explain why Prehistoric Kingdom isn't a perfect game, but a perfect example of a good early access game. Numero uno. Prehistoric Kingdom is an extremely good proof of concept, and there are 2 main things Prehistoric Kingdom needs to prove. A, it has to have good dinosaurs and amazing designs, and B, it has to have engaging modular building. Controversial take, but Prehistoric Kingdom has some of the best dinosaur depictions out of any video game ever. Almost every single animal has extremely aesthetically pleasing designs while keeping them accurate. Although I prefer an aesthetically pleasing design over an accurate one, all of the Prehistoric Kingdom creatures are absolutely stunning, and I'm going to give a prime example. The Spinosaurus. The Prehistoric Kingdom depiction is genuinely the best depiction of Spinosaurus in any media. Yes, it's accurate, but they also had fun with it, such as the large crocodile-like scales on some of the skins. And Part B, engaging building. The first modular building game I ever played was Planet Zoo, and I really wanted to get into it. But it's just really hard to get into. It feels extremely clunky and difficult to control, and to make a good looking zoo, you can't use any prefabs. While in Prehistoric Kingdom, the controls are much smoother than Planet Zoo's, and I don't have to spend 3 years on one enclosure to make it look good. I can make a good enclosure in a few hours for Prehistoric Kingdom. The second criteria, the developers are extremely passionate about the game. The developers have been working on Prehistoric Kingdom for more than a decade at this point, and it's amazing to see. It's extremely cool to see how far they've come and how they refine their craft over the years, from the earliest versions of the games to what it is now. And the Prehistoric Kingdom developers obviously love every step of the way. I would highly recommend the Prehistoric Kingdom art book. It gives a lot of details on how they make the game, and I would just highly recommend it. The third and final criteria is listening to criticism. Prehistoric Kingdom is an early access game, so obviously it isn't going to be perfect. There are always going to be bugs, and there's always going to be room for improvement, and it's nice to see the developers listening to that criticism. One example of this is the Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus's head originally wasn't up to the standards set by many members of the community, so the developers took this criticism and changed the head, mainly making the spike on the side of its head larger and changing the scales on the top of its head. This is one of the many examples of the developers listening to the community, and it's nice to know that they are open for constructive criticism. Another example is the Tarbosaurus. In the most recent devlog, they showed how they're changing it, from just a T-Rex with a dewlap to giving it more proportions like the real animal. In conclusion, Prehistoric Kingdom meets all the criteria of a good early access game. It is a good proof of concept, the developers are passionate about the game, and they are open to constructive criticism. If other developers want to succeed with an early access game, they need to look at all the criteria and look how Prehistoric Kingdom is succeeding at those criteria. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Every little bit helps push my videos further into the algorithm, and I'm extremely thankful for the support from all of y'all. Well, I gotta go now. Bye-bye, y'all. Have a nice day.